public service station.
Got noise here.
Yes, indeedy, it did. It's sort of ebbing and flowing. Gets strong, falls off, gets strong again. I was listening to those guys out there in Washington a little bit.
10-4. That's probably he was playing music earlier.
Yeah, and dropping the F-bomb.
10-4. They're in there every night.
Yeah, every night I'm in here, about this time they start coming in.
What the hell?
Oh no!
Oh no, we won't go. Hey, this Sandbagger. Yeah, getting around the band. Classic radio roundup.
27115 on the AM radio dial.
10 Roger, right on there, Captain Pickett.
Yeah, I thought we might get a little bit lucky and have a laid-back local classic radio roundup. Doesn't seem like that's really going to come to pass.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it'd be quieter so that I get a better chance to hear how this thing sounds when there's not, all that hash and trash right up in the background.
Well, it might work out all right because you're coming in pretty strong. And I'm on a high fidelity radio receiver, Hallicrafters SX110. And I'm trying something a little different here. I got a little salvaged speaker from a computer. And I've got that in parallel with my speaker for the receiver. And I've got that little computer speaker taped right next to the microphone on the tablet. So let's see if that works out.
Somebody asking for a transmitter. Is that the multi-Elmac?
Multi-Elmac AF67 high-level plate modulated transmitter.
Super duper. 10 Roger, right on. Yeah. But I am running the Cobra 2000 once again with the D104.
Yeah, well, it sounds pretty much high fidelity. Coming in my antique radio receiver, Hallicrafters SX110.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Mates up pretty well with the multi-Elmac. And I can go everywhere I need to go.
And luckily you have a crystal that actually works.
Yeah, I'm a little high in frequency. I think I'm around 271155.
Yeah, I can tell because I hear you heterodyning with the noise in the background. So yeah, you're not dead nuts on by any standards, but you're not so far off that you sound really bad or anything.
Well, it's as far as I can possibly pull the crystal. If I pull it any further, it won't oscillate. In fact, I had it right on the hairy edge last night, and it kept dropping off on me.
Yeah, you can only do what you can do, I guess. What'd you do, have to pull it down from halfway between 13 and 14?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, the crystal was cut for that Courier 1M, but it happens to be the right multiple to work on the multi-Elmac. And on the multi-Elmac, it's a new crystal. 05 bought it, so and I'm sure it's on frequency for that transmitter, but there must be different capacitance or whatever going on. In the multi-Elmac, it naturally wants to be at 27119.
Yeah, it has to do with the loading of the crystal, the capacitance, and whether it's series or parallel resonant, and it isn't going to be exact, I guess.
Well, anyway, that's as far as I could pull it, is 115.5. I pull it any further, and it's past the hairy edge. And so, when you're using 60-year-old radio equipment on classic radio roundup, sometimes you got to be a little bit forgiving.
Yeah. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. My 1960s vintage Western Electric phone is ringing.
I hear that classic classic telephone on the radio.
It's unusual to have a phone call. most people just call my wife's cell phone.
But I know that ring, that was the real deal. And I got one of them phones over here too. I still laugh when my grandson asks me, "Hey Pappy, why's that phone got a dial on it and how's it work?"
Yeah, I was even freaking Heather out with it. It's like, okay, this is how you dial one of these things. I showed her how to do it one night.
Yeah, now everything has to be 10 digits. It takes even longer. And if you got a bunch of 7, 8s, and 9s, you're going to be there a while. 7, 8, 9, and 0. Or 8, 9, and 0, let's say.
Yeah, that's true. If you got to dial 10 or 11 digits, back in the day when we used to use those phones, you only had to worry about 7 digits most of the time.
I remember when I was real little and I would call my friends in the neighborhood, I only had to dial the last 4. But that had soon changed. I think that changed like 69 or 70 or something like that. But I remember for a very early time, a couple of friends that I would only have to dial their last 4.
I never remember that one. But, interesting. I wonder if we could have done it, we just never knew it.
Maybe that was a holdover, maybe you could still do it and you weren't really supposed to, and then they finally got rid of it, kind of a thing. And maybe I just got lucky, or I don't know. But it was within the exchange. I just dialed the 4 digits, and then that was to call my friends like across the street and they're in the neighborhood, kind of thing.
I remember that too.
Well, if you remember it, then it definitely must have happened then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, within your exchange, just the 4 digits.
And you remember party lines?
I remember that.
Well, that's before my time.
Robin 510D, 5 watts.
Who's running 5 watts?
Robin 510D. Radio hasn't been on it maybe 20 years.
Robin 510D on 5-watt radio. I hear you. Where you at?
Royersford?
I hear you down there in Royersford. Yeah, no doubt about it. You're cutting through the noise and everything up here around Saratoga.
Well, you're probably fairly close to me. I'm pretty close to Target over here.
Well, I'm on the other side of the hill. I'm closer to Swamp Pike.
Okay. Yeah, Gene and them said you were on here with some classic junk, and I thought, well, if I ever get this thing up to the basement, I'd put it on. Well, we got it on.
Every Wednesday night from 8 to 10, Channel 13, Classic Radio Roundup. We get out here with our antique junk. That's a Roger.
I bought an antique junk at Jake's on Sunday, except it doesn't work. It was a Sears Road Talker. I got what I paid for it, $2.
Well, sometimes you gotta fool around and take a chance, and you just never know.
Yeah, I have to look into it. It's Stone Cold Dead. I don't even think the drivers are working, but it receives pretty well.
Yeah.
Anybody else hear that station in Royersford?
Yeah, fine. Welcome to Classic Radio Roundup.
The guy that said yep was 20 over.
Get down and get funky.
Well, I'm over here running a 2-piece radio setup. I got a multi-Elmac transmitter and a Hallicrafters receiver. My antique flea market radio station.
Well, the Elmac is even before my time.
Yeah, it predates the CB radio service. It was made in 1954.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it's hard to listen to.
I'm not quite sure of the vintage of the receiver. I think it's like 1960 or somewhere around there.
I heard Ron there. That must be Ron's signal.
Yeah, that's me. How you doing over there?
Not too many people commit 20 over.
Oh yeah.
Must have a good straight shot then, don't you know?
Yeah, they must be neighbors. Royersford to where Ron is? Yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah,
How about I flip the phaser your other way there, Ron? How's that?
That takes that whine away. Man, that whine is...
You like my wind-up? Yeah, I'm a little bit off frequency, but what do you want for 60-plus years old?
Of a lot of trash in the background.
Well, I really hear that Royersford now.
Yeah, you dropped down to about just a little bit above him.
Yeah, well, I didn't help you out on my receiver much either.
That's 20 over from you there, Sanatoga, also.
Yeah, I'm running co-phased IMAX 2000 antennas on a phased array that I can steer.
Okay, mine's just an A99 at 65 feet.
Yeah, these antennas are only about 30 feet off the ground, but they do the job.
Yeah, that's right.
I hear that Royersford too.
Yeah, well, mine starts at 65 feet. It's at the top of the tower.
Yeah, I wish, but I'm in the middle of the forest here, and I can only do so much.
You're the king of the forest.
It's great for string and wire antennas, though.
I thought I heard somebody way out there in the distance trying to get in.
It's hard to tell with all this noise.
I'm hoping Doc Hammer or Hightower will check in with us. I don't know if he's on your spew or not, but I do have the Kenwood up and running. It seems like the up-the-hill antenna is working, but I'm not on it. I got it on that radio.
Maybe one of these days I'll have to bring in the big guns. Long ago, I put a Johnson Viking Valiant on 11 meters. That's fun.
Yeah, I got a toy similar to that. I got a Barker & Williamson 5100B, and it'll make the appearance here on the occasion.
Yeah, it puts out a wonderful amount of power.
I know you down there in Royersford. In fact, ain't you the guy with a 2 in your call and you frequent the Perky sale?
Sure.
Yes, sir. Well, I got the AA3. We've talked there on 435 before, and I think we've even met once or twice at the Perky sale.
Okay, can't say that I can place you yet, but yeah, I don't show up on this band very often.
Well, once I started listening to your voice, I flipped my phase antenna your way. Maybe that ought to help you remember. I use these phased verticals on 10 meters too, so maybe that'll help jog your memory a little bit. Over here in off of Swamp Pike, and the name is Pete, Papa Echo Tango Echo. Try to give you all the clues I can. But any case, yeah, I flipped the phaser your way, and I really can hear your voice. I'm like, I know this guy.
Okay, Pete. Yeah, I was looking at your repeater, and it's got a strange offset that presents a problem to me.
Yeah, if it presents a problem to you, you ought to try my side with the half-meg split and duplexers and trying to keep the descents out. Man, what a balancing act that is.
I don't know how to set that up on my radio. I have to take a hard look at that. Have to go to the book.
What radio are we talking about?
Either Baofeng or a Yaesu VX5.
Well, I would say use the software to program it. On either one of those would probably be the easiest way.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. The Baofeng's it's in the computer. Except the computer just took a dump. I was just trying to figure out what I'm doing tonight. My dual core put together myself version just died. Green light on the board, but I think the power supply's gone. And I'm looking at $60, $70, $80 unless I find a junk computer. Or I may go out and go to Walmart and buy a refurb gateway for $1.66, $1.88. It's a tough call right now to put money into an old dual core or go buy a refurb.
I really do. I've been stuck in that position myself, kind of thing. You know, which option to take, which one's going to pan out the best, you know?
Well, I got a pretty hot box that I run in here in the radio room. That's computer room. It runs a flex, and the outside one is a laptop. The wife's got a laptop, and then I've got the old house computer. But you know, I don't know where I should go with that one because I had trouble with the one drive. Now I got dual boot capability because the old drive sort of gave up, decided to come back, and now I lost the power supply. And one of the fans are kind of suspect. It was kind of tight when I sprayed it out tonight. And I'm saying, man, I don't know if I want to play or new. I hate to get Windows 8 though.
Well, I'm not much help in that department. Computers are like I sort of have them, but I'm no. I just sort of can able to do what I can do, and not much beyond that. Not real. You know, I can get around, but you know, I'm not much in the way of fixing, repairing, or anything along that lines. I'm kind of a minimalist as far as that goes.
You know enough to get in trouble.
Yeah, that's right.
So how you doing, Jerry?
I was doing good until the computer gave up.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, I switched radios. I can hear a lot better on this one anyway.
You sound a lot better on the Hallicrafters SX110 over here.
Yeah, I don't know what you switched from and to, but I like this one.
Yeah, got the 2995 on it. It this goes better all around, you know.
One size fits all.
Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Talking about old, I got a call sign for you, and it's very legit, or it was on here. How about 2W5679?
Wow, that's an old CV call.
Wow, that's a really old one.
You got it. I'm really old too.
60s.
Wow, at that time I got mine, it was KFS 6662.
Yeah, the 2W calls, they ran out of those real quick.
Yeah, well then they changed the scheme, and the call wasn't valid anymore. I'm sitting here gonna pull this one right out of my butt. KAPK 8655, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry, we're glad to have you here on Classic Radio Roundup. We do like to have fun with, you know, classic rigs, mostly 23 channels or less. Glowing glass tubes if possible, or a mix thereof. There's a few other exceptions. We're pretty loose about it. 25 years old or older. And there's all kinds of stuff out here, but it brings out everybody playing with all kinds of different stuff. And sometimes we're surprised at some of these radios, these plain Janes even, you know, the older ones that people come out with really sound pretty good sometimes.
Oh yeah, there were some great radios. I used to have a Sonar, and I think it was a Tram Titan 2. It was a big green box, and a Comstat 25A, and I don't know how many others that went through my hands that I touched and played with. I used to make it a point of fixing them after the golden screwdriver guys got into them. A lot of people brought stuff to me to fix back up. Too many people took and, you know, tweaked the power up, then they didn't have the modulation to match. And I tried to educate them. We tweaked it back down so that they had the audio to match the power. And even though they weren't running 6 watts, they were running 4 watts, they sounded, you know, great when they're pretty close to 100% modulation.
Amen to that.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, we've sort of held our own re-education center here on Classic Radio Roundup and stressing the need for the 4-to-1 ratio, and you know, and the ghost and phantom watts when you go beyond that, and to keep a clean signal, but you actually sound better. And it's not all about pinning the meter to the right. You got to have the right ratio, and we've got everybody schooled on that now, and some guys even have gone out and not only got oscilloscopes but spectrum analyzers too, and everybody's undoing all the golden screwdriver mods to the radios back in the day that they pick up and get them out here and run in fine style.
I have been fixing this stuff for people since 1965. I'm avionics for the Air Force and electrical by infection and an electrical engineer, and retired at that. And I guess they call me Radios RS. I have a few ham radios.
Yeah, I'll say. Well, we're all starting to amass a collection. I'm broadening out and going with boat anchor transmitters and stuff, and then this is a new receiver that I restored, so I'm playing around with it. And I like my multi Elmac, but its receiver doesn't go here. But the Hallicrafter does, so I can switch back and forth between the multi Elmac receiver and the Hallicrafters receiver on the multi Elmac AF67 transmitter. I bought it up at Sellersville last year, and I've been having a blast with this transmitter ever since.
I saw that. You know, that almost tweaked me. I'll tell you what. I turned 70 this past year, and now I'm inclined to start selling. I got a couple of Johnson Viking Valiants, and I don't think I'm going to keep either of them. I got like one of everything in the high price spread. I got an SX115 that's going to have to go to somebody, and I have a Super Pro 600. I think it's the 17 model. That's another one. I had prostate surgery, and anything that weighs over 50 pounds makes me pee my pants. So the boat anchors have got to go.
Well, I think you've come to the right crowd. I don't know how soon you want to offload stuff, but at the moment the timing is bad. But you know, in the not too distant future, I'd be very interested in an SP600 and maybe even one of them Johnsons over there. Everybody loves a big Johnson. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't mind taking some of that heavy weight off your hands and giving it some space over here. But right now the timing is wrong because I'm planning on a summer vacation. But once that's over, then I can start concentrating on that kind of junk.
Yeah, I have no timing, but it's called, I can't play with them. I can't move them around anymore. And I can't really operate from my shed or my basement, and that's where the stuff is, you know, between here and there. And I can't bring anything more in this room. It's crazy. Well, I decided to drop in here tonight and forego Survivor for a little bit. I put it on record, and I figured, well, I'll catch up with what's going on. I can fast forward through about half of that show. Anyway, I will try to drop in here from time to time. I feel like I'm monopolizing the conversation here tonight. Say hello to everybody. I guess Gene's not in there.
Yeah, there's not too many of us in here tonight, it seems. I don't think you're monopolizing. We try to leave a little space, and everybody jumps in, and there's certainly a lot of people who like to enjoy just whatever it is we talk about, you know, down whatever road. And yeah, well, we're glad to have you. You're welcome anytime. We try to keep it clean and fun and play with old radios, and sometimes we have electronics 101 kind of thing. You know, there's plenty of questions that pop up here and there, and we'd be glad to have your experience and input on things, and you're always welcome. And on that, you've been playing radio. You mentioned the year. That was the year I was born. So you've been playing radio my entire life. How's that?
Oh, that's the year I went in the Air Force. I had just graduated from college, and I actually was into avionics right there without modulating anything until one of the guys I was going to school with was a ham, and he said, you know, you should really get your license. And when I got back from the Air Force, I said, you know, I'm doing radar, but you know, I'm in the radio shop, whatever. And we got 618 ATs, and I said, they're cool. And we played on the CB bands out on the ramp with them. And I said, well, I got to get into this. And then my uncle ran a CB store. And I started getting in and I'm saying, oh man, guys. I mean, let's straighten out some of the misconceptions on stuff here because that's not the way it is. And then I got hooked, and I didn't last very long with the CB, and I went right to ham radio. And I had both feet in it for a while, and then just not enough time. So ham radio won, but yeah, I'm about as technical as they come. If I can tell you, I've tried everything from the technical to untechnical and whatever. I got enough experience to sink a battleship.
Well, there's plenty of guys out here that have a thirst for knowledge, so you can offload some of that, and we'll ease your burden that way. I know, we all, myself, I run into stuff all the time, and Dave over there, Sandbagger, he's pretty good, and he's good to pick his brain for, and from his experience, I've gained quite a bit of experience, and I'm able to help out on some occasion, but even I'm still learning as I go, but I sure am having fun with this vacuum tube stuff. I'll tell you what, it's easy to work on, and once you get it working right, they all sound good once you get them working right.
Yeah, gotta love them tubes.
Well, it's easier to understand. It's awful tough when you sit there and you say black caterpillar pin 11 goes over here through a cap maybe, and then it goes to black caterpillar pin 1, and then they don't really want to explain what's inside. It makes it very, very difficult to understand what's going on and to troubleshoot the stuff. And if you want to make your head hurt, read how software-defined radio goes. I'm much better with the old tube stuff. I can go through that. I can go through a radio in a flash. Because people said, "Why did you like radar?" I said, "Because the problems were, never reoccurring. There was so much circuitry to that everything was always new. So it was a different challenge every time. You went to fix it, you go, I'm going right down here, and I'm saying this is where it is, and up, I take a left turn."
Yeah, well, all the radios that I've been playing with and restoring over the last recent years, each one is a new challenge, and I learn from it and gain more experience and take on a bigger and deeper challenge, so it's all been good. And most of the guys here on this channel are doing the exact same thing. Everybody's picking up these radios and restoring them and getting them back to shape, and then we get out here and say, hey, look what I'm running now, kind of thing. So we're all having a good time playing radio. I mean, I've always had my feet in both camp. I cut my teeth here, and I give it up, and I keep coming back. But now that we have this good group here, this is where I am, and I like to play. But then when this isn't going on, then I'm elsewhere.
Well, we got one wizard on 425, Bill, and he's a wizard and a bulldog. And I've been inclined not to fix things lately, and he's been doing a lot of stuff for me. He wanted an SB 104, so I gave him 4 of them. He made one for me and one for him, planes and A's. His most recent challenge, and it's a real sweetheart. He spent a lot of time. I got an SBE 36 that has Nixie tubes in the readout. Only ham rig ever had Nixie tubes, and he had to redesign the way 10 meters worked and put up a physical shield in order to make the 10 meter portion work the way it's supposed to. And he is. I understand where he's coming from, and I understand everything, but I sometimes fail to. I wouldn't have gone the direction he goes to fix things, but he's really a wizard.
I wish I could say the same for myself. I couldn't take on anything like that.
Well, he damn near redesigned this whole SBE 36. That's a really sweet looking radio. Very nice sounding radio. And believe it or not, it's related to this thing right here. It's a Robin 500 out of Japan in the early days of the Tempo 2020s and stuff
See, look at you. You're just a, you know, an encyclopedia of radio knowledge and history. That'd be good to have you keep us entertained there from week to week.
Okay, well, I'm going to go back and see how the Survivor people are doing. We'll catch you again.
Hey, thanks for stopping by there, Jerry, and you're welcome anytime we're here. Classic Radio Roundup, Channel 13.
Yeah, now that old 05's gone.
Yeah, right? He never got it. He just never got it.
Well, you know.
Let me flip the phaser back your way so you can get some good audio in on the video gate. Yeah, he just never quite got the point of Classic Radio Roundup.
Well, it wasn't his thing. His thing was something totally, entirely different.
Yeah, which didn't really sit well with the mission statement of Classic Radio Roundup.
Yeah. I'll never forget the time he got all mad at me because I wouldn't go to war with Marky Mark because he was behaving himself here, and because Gene was feuding with him, he didn't want me. You know, he couldn't understand why I wouldn't feud with him here. I'm like, this is what that's all about.
Yeah, and he did the same thing to me at the, you know, and then we didn't have his back.
I couldn't explain to him. I was like, you know, what am I going to do? Am I going to start something with him and then he's going to mess up this channel? Like, you know, you want to fight somewhere else, that's fine, but leave it at the door when you come here.
That's why 13 started, to get away from 21 people.
Absolutely.
Right. Just because you're feuding on 21 on a daily basis doesn't mean you got to bring that feud to Channel 13 and suck us in. And then accuse us of not having your back and start a feud with us here on 13. It's like, oh my God, you cannot win. You cannot win with this guy.
I'm trying to be a diplomat, you know.
Yeah, right? That's how 13 got started in the first place, to get away from all that nonsense.
I said you won with him. You got rid of him because he was chasing the Florida.
Well, he got rid of himself.
Well, anyway, it's all good now. We're here having fun.
Amen to that.
Hello there, Dr. Hammer.
Hello, Doc Hammer.
Hello, Dave, Pete, and everybody else out there. I'm listening on the mail.
Hey, feel free to get a little airtime. I gotta go tend the wood stove. You're on the up the hill antenna, which seems to be working at the moment. Been having issues with that antenna, but anyway, that's why the system's been down. And then I went out and cleaned all the connectors, and I think I brought it back to life. So we'll see. Just keep an eye on that SWR, but it should be all right.
Yeah, copy that. I got everything down here except for the ground plane outside. We're getting close to the move date, and so I tore everything down. At any rate, we're copying the mail. Good evening, everybody, in Classic Radio Roundup 27115.
On your AM dial.
Evening, Doc Hammer.
Well, hi, Dave. Top evening to you, too.
10-4, finally hear ya.
Yeah, there haven't been much skip the last couple of weeks. In fact, it's been kind of dead here, except for the islands in the mornings. But midday and afternoon, there hasn't been anything. We had snow last weekend, and we got some more coming in here in a day or so.
10-4. I hadn't had much skip here that you could talk about. Just at night Washington State comes in, that's about it.
Oh, Roger. Well, I still got station up. I've got ground plane up, but I don't have the beam or anything up. It's all down now. We still got a van, too. But that motor van gets out there and talks its backside off.
Roger. Yeah, that motor van talks good.
Yeah, here in those, that's be all we got for a while. or maybe sideband on low power. But the motor van will be out there in the 10.8 for sure. We're going to put the big amp in there, so it won't have any trouble.
Roger, roger. Okay, I'm going to be back on the side. Need somebody else get back in there. We're listening.
All right, 44. We're watching Survivor and talking on the radio. I'm back out.
Getting up and out.
10 Roger, right on. Classic Radio Roundup. Best show in town.
Here's a side anecdote for you. The S meter on this Hallicrafter goes to 80 dB over S9. It's the only S meter I got that Doc Hammer hasn't been able to pin. He gets it up to about 55 dB.
Well, if he can't peg it, I don't think anybody could.
Nope, it's not gonna happen. Why bother going to 80 dB when S9 is half the scale?
Maybe if you were next door to like a megawatt station or something.
Good grief. Yeah, if he can't peg it out.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, sometimes I probably hit it harder on DX than I do on this thing.
Yeah, I think I've already seen that happen. Pretty close, anyway.
I find that hard to believe.
Well, yeah, I guess I am exaggerating a little. Certainly not, I don't remember a 50 dB over.
It's funny that Doc Hammer's having quiet conditions out there because all we get is skip every day, but it's garbage skip. It's it's a F-layer nonsense south of the border and just a high noise level. No real intelligible stations. Once in a while the Washington State guys, I guess, but it's just a droning noise level.
Yeah, in the last couple of mornings I've been listening in on 10 meters AM, and I haven't heard a peep out of Europe.
So I wonder what this crap is then. It would say that the Europeans are closed down. So
I'm hearing, junk on 11 meters at that time of day, and the sidebanders are in there. I can hear some Europeans on sideband, but I haven't heard any of the AMers.
I've had absolutely nothing on 10 meters for a month now. And in the mornings, I have the islands off the Florida coast out there, the Bahamas and stuff, but you can't get back to them. And that's it. About 10 a.m., they drop out of there, and then it's just dead quiet.
Yeah, in the last couple of nights I've been hearing French Canadians coming in. Carry on with Classic Radio Roundup. I gotta go get something to wet the whistle over here. 441 on my antique multi Elmac AF 67 high level plate modulator radio.
yeah, get something to drink. All that talking can kind of make your throat dry. Say hi, Kitty. Kitty's here. Say hi. Oh, purr into the microphone, dummy. See? There you go.
You know what? When a cat purrs, that means it's happy.
Yeah, this cat's always purring.
And 4.
It's a happy kitty. Get out of my glass of water before you knock it over. She's now walking all over my radio desk.
Ours goes on the laptop. I got the laptop open up and on, and the next thing you know, the cat's up on it laying down.
Cats love to do that. They like to flop themselves right in the middle of what you're doing.
And 4.
Now this one's bopping the headphone on my icon, making it feedback. Oh, she likes the windscreen on my Static Gecko Master Plus there. You're gonna knock something over, I just know it.
Oh no, a visit from the crazy cat?
Yeah, Kitty's up here. She pushed my door open and invited herself in.
I got Mini-Man down here because I got food.
That reminds me of Sam from down at Skipback in his garage, his cat.
Yeah, right? Mervin I talked to in Wales, he's got a cat, and his cat likes to sit on top of the tube radios.
Yeah, they stay warm that way. Oh, there she goes. Say hi, Kitty. Yeah, she's rubbing up against the D104 now. Likes that.
Yeah, nice pointy edges to scratch on. Yeah, I got Mini-Man sitting down here. He's with me, but I got food. So, you know how dogs are. Food and squirrels. Can you speak? Can I get you to speak? Oof, can you speak? I don't know if he does speak. I wonder if I can get him to speak for something here. Can you speak? Speak! Oof. Speak! Give you peace. Hey, want peace? Speak! Oof. 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 Come on, you can do it. Oof. Speak! 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 Oof. Oof. He's staring at it. He's like, what the hell do you want? I don't know that.
Just knocked my headphone out.
Yeah, by the way, I was set up for the AM Mayhem, but they moved our safety meeting up a day. So I won't have a safety meeting tomorrow. So I should be good. But boy, did I call them out and maybe I shouldn't do this, but I did it anyway. I made the one of the bosses look like a retard.
Yeah, Cat, you need to go. Yeah, you don't ever want to do that because they tend to hold grudges.
Oh, it's great to do it once in a while, you know. Especially when they're, you know, blah, 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 blah. We're working on our communication, right? And in one breath, we're working on communication, making it better. Which has been coming out of their mouths for 20 years now. And I said, well, how come nobody answered my email regarding the bogus safety training, computer safety training that I had to take that's outdated and tested me on the wrong information that we're no longer using those tags? She goes, well, I'm a little behind on my email. I said, 5 weeks? She goes, who did you send it to? I said, everyone in utilities, including you, and not a single person answered me on it. But we're working on improving communication. And you know what their answer to improving communication was? To put a whiteboard on the wall in the control room. I'm like, we had those in the 80s. Are you kidding me?
We have two radios now that we didn't have that we had back in the 50s, so I guess we're always going backwards.
That's what I was just going to key up and say.
Yeah, they're going way backwards. I know why they like it, because they can erase everything.
Either that or sneaking up there in a whiteboard and said it's been there.
Yeah, the place makes me laugh though, you know. But when I'm at the safety meeting, if I have a safety issue, you're pretty much on safe ground. So I'm like, well, that was a safety issue completely, and you never answered me.
I just looked it up. The cat here is 19 years old.
You have a cat that's 19 years old?
10-4.
Wow, that's an old cat. That's a rarity.
It gets around good. No problem, knock on wood.
Yeah, that's getting up there. Yeah, the oldest cat I remember was my dad's, who made it to 24. Like, that's the oldest cat I ever, you know, actually knew.
10-4.
24 years old? I've never heard of that.
Yep, Siamese cat. My dad's Siamese cat made it to 24.
Yeah, I think I knew somebody that had one that made it to was it.
We got the cat when I was a junior in high school, and it only died a few years ago.
Wow.
Well, it might be 10 years ago now, but anyway, the cat lived a long time. That's the oldest cat I know of. That's in my good boy. Man.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, right?
I mean, our last cats, we had the three when I was at my old house, and when we moved up here, one promptly died right after that. I think she didn't like to move, and then the other one died about a year later, and then the other one after that died a couple of years later, but not one of them was over 15 years old.
That husky, that white husky of mine, Tasha, she made it to 14.
Yeah, that's pretty good for a dog. Dogs usually, I mean, once they're up to around 14 or 15, that's really old.
Yeah, especially for a medium to a big-sized dog. The smaller breeds last a little longer. Oh no, here comes Washington State again, quarter wave.
I can never hear them unless I turn the beam around.
Yeah, they're always fighting and playing music. It's like Channel 21 on the West Coast style.
Well, there's morons in every area, you know. We don't hold the lock on that.
My noise level certainly went down, though, and that nonsense isn't in there.
Yeah, mine's actually not too bad right now. I've only got about an S3 noise level.
Oh no, now somebody's playing John Denver.
Country roads.
Minnie, that's all right. Where's my Minnie? There he is. Minnie Man. Got me a cookie. Come here. Yeah, go cookie. Minnie Man don't like the camera.
Oh, come on, Pat.
Here.
That Robin radio that Jerry said he was running, 510. That's got that nice 858 chassis in it, like the Cobra 139 XLR and the realistic, the 457.
Doggone, you think they could have got something good in there instead of John Denver?
Yeah, right?
Well, at least I don't hear it.
Well, you know, you would have thought they would have put in, you know, a clip from Dr. Demento or something like that.
Dr. Demento, Dr. Demento.
Man, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Doctor of Dementia.
Used to listen to him every Sunday night. He was syndicated. He'd come on every Sunday night.
I remember those days back in the 70s.
Roger. Yep, I used to listen to him.
And the Wolfman Jack show, too.
I could hear hear him on AM Direct sometimes when I was broadcast band DXing. It was running in a station out of northern Mexico with like 100,000 watts or some nonsense.
Yeah. The Wolfman Jack Show.
That's how he was heard all over the friggin' country. He was running out of Mexico with big power.
Hello, the Mexican radio.
Now instead of Dr. Demanda, we got Bob and Tom in the morning.
Every town's got their little zany morning crew. We have Preston and Steve.
Hello, Classic Radio Roundup. Grinnell Upper Base Station running this old-fashioned Cobra 2000 GTL.
Well, how about that? So am I.
Well, yours is sounding great. I hope mine sounds half as good as yours.
Well, maybe half.
Yeah, half as good.
Half is all I ever wanted.
Yeah, I've done some audio mods to this one. Kind of expanded it just a wee bit.
Now, the only thing this one has is an echo that I don't use, open clarifier, and some extra channels.
This had all that. I took it out.
I hope that thing sounds as good on the video gate as it does coming over my 8-inch round speaker for my Hallicrafters.
Yeah. Oh, interestingly enough, on a side note, when I was doing the characterization of the audio bandwidth on this thing, and then I did the before and after, and then just for kicks and giggles, I said, I want to see what the high gain does, just as it is. That stinking high gain, that thing goes down below 100 hertz all by itself. No wonder that thing sounds warm.
Aha, I said. So already it's just naturally that way.
That's why that radio always sounds so good. It's got some low end to it. Of course it does.
Because it starts out with bottom end.
The only bummer though is when you get down that low, it starts the waveform starts to get a little distorted. It's not a clean sine wave. I guess the modulation transformer can't handle, because it's high level plate modulated, so I guess it can't handle there's too much core saturation or something going on in there.
Sounds like our West Coast is trying to get in there.
On Classic Radio Roundup 27115 on your AM radio dial.
How's this 2000 sound okay?
Yeah.
10-4.
Everybody sounds good on classic radio roundup. Now the cat molested my microphone here. Yeah, we'll give it a little slap back there just for fun.
Yeah, everybody sounds really good on this Hallicrafters. Man, there's something about Hallicrafters radios, I don't know, but both of them that I have got great fidelity.
Well, they do. I mean, that's what they were noted for. Top of the line kind of radios.
Yeah, it really is. Even as old as it is. Dang on. That was a good trade. Thanks, Ron.
Yeah, anytime. I was up there on 37 talking to Hawaii.
10-4 on the Hawaii.
I guess there's stuff going way out to the west coast there. That'll slowly die off as the sun moves across the sky.
Yeah, they're going now, but you have two losers up there off of 38, making it real bad for everybody.
Yeah, there are a couple of jack wagons out there that are just I don't know. A couple of them are actually hams too, from what I heard. That just go in there and just agitate people for no good old reason, just because they don't like people, I guess.
Yeah, just because there's like 380, what the hell was the number? They just have so much there, just to wreck it for everybody, you know. And then up to the, you know, this is where we're gonna be. They just wreck it for 38.
Yeah, there was a couple of buttheads in Arizona that used to be there a lot years ago, and you know, there's somebody in there now. I forget. Night Ranger could probably tell you all about him. He's run across him a few times too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, show you right.
Show you right.
That was good. I was giving the guy 9-20 over in Hawaii.
Wow, not bad.
Yeah, you can't beat it. 59-36 on a balloon.
Out in the mini grass.
Uh-oh. It's soon gonna get quiet.
Uh-oh. And then it got quiet. Where's Sparky tonight?
I don't know, but it sounds like somebody just let the dogs out.
Well, you know, they gotta go pooping around the ranch house and all.
I almost forgot about that one. Just a cook in the Navy with too much poop around the ranch house.
Yep. Just stop trying to be somebody that you're not.
For hours and hours, dude. The other one was good that I captured was like, I need it, I gotta have it, I know where you get it, I need it right now, you gotta transport it.
I need it. I want it. Bring it here now.
And then I did a little editing with that and something else. Boy, I was having some fun.
You can do that. Splicing clips together like that.
I had that conversation with Bluebird, and he thought he was talking to Wizard.
Well, he ain't too bright anyway.
No, I know. I think that. Well, I'm sure that's how I was able to pull it off. And I had a couple of witnesses out there. I know low key. I seen him at Perky Sale, and he said he was pissing his pants listening to it. I wish somebody would have gated that because it was hilarious. Bluebird actually thought he was talking to Wizard, and I was just, pumping out the standard canned phrases, and it's just like he doesn't say anything else anyway.
Well, you know. Heck, I got enough material over here. I could probably make everybody think 05 was back in town.
Yeah, I don't have enough of his. Well, actually, if I really did some splicing and dicing, I probably could come up with enough.
It could be key to mall all day long.
Trying to be somebody he's not. Classic Radio Roundup.
I've got a couple of recordings that I made that I didn't even completely listen to. Because I used to put that timed recorder on there that would only record when like the squelch would break, and if I had to go out or something. And a couple of nights I got like 2 or 3 hours worth of stuff on there.
Yeah, you might have some good material there.
Well, I got that one night when he was in there with the slapback audio. That was funny.
He got me in there one night with, I was on my echo mic and he was on his, and I'm sure we were not making the whole area happy because we were just going back and forth and with echo and slapback and we were drinking. It was fun though.
I think I've got that one.
Do you really?
I believe I do.
Dueling slapback audio? Oh, I'd love to hear that, man. I was getting lit that night.
Yeah, the two of yous were in fine form.
It's not often I do that, get all lit and, get on radio, but it happened.
Yeah, I gotta find where I have it. I mean, I know it's on the computer. I just gotta remember which one it was, but yeah, you and him were going at it. I don't know. There's all kinds of fun stuff going on there. And then I think you had to back out because I think you had to go to work or something happened, and then it kind of continued on after that. But it was, it kind of calmed down after that.
Yeah, I remember that night. That was a lot of fun. We were playing with the echo and the timing, and just generally being an annoyance to everyone else. But we were certainly having a good time.
Lots of Corona flowing.
Thirsty Thursday, cold Corona Friday.
Complete with the documents in your trunk.
It never really happened unless you got documents in the trunk.
I can prove it. I got documents in the trunk.
And a copy of Black's Law Library.
I got Black's Law Dictionary. If it's not in there, it ain't real.
Yeah, really, dude? That's all you got?
That's not really. Stop playing word games. That word doesn't exist. It's not in my Black's Law Dictionary.
Yeah, though, stop playing the word games. That's classic. In other words, I'm too stupid to understand what it is you're saying. Stop it.
Oh, God.
That's how I got away with having a conversation with him with nothing but pre-recorded canned messages.
I truly believe to this day that there are certain people out there that were put on this earth just purely to entertain the rest of us.
It must be.
They serve no other valid purpose.
Certainly is entertaining, though.
Oh, that I have no doubt.
Yeah, free and cheap entertainment with no advertising, except for, Fred's Discount Voodoo Emporium.
Yes, Fred's Discount Voodoo Emporium. If you want someone dead, come and see Fred.
Yeah, it's kind of a light classic radio night. Where is everybody? Where's the check-ins? Check on in. Classic Radio Roundup.
Yeah, no Skeeter, no Night Train, no Sparky. Good Googa Mooga. Well, we do have Grasshopper. delivery guy.
Out there on the bluegrass, 181. You call? Somebody out there on the bluegrass, 181 minigrass waving. Hello. Yeah, somebody got ghost rider or ghost mad. So he disappeared.
Got him mad? What happened?
Well, he was using all kinds of bad language, I guess, one night, and then he bad-mouthed cameraman, so they told him to get lost.
Oh. Oh, that was probably not a good thing.
That's what I heard. Night Train was telling me that.
Yeah, well, you know, he was trying to be good, trying to keep the language to the PG level there, but he had a hard time with it sometimes.
10-4.
I gave him credit for trying, though. I guess he just kind of totally lost it.
Well, Channel 13 isn't made for everybody. That's why they made 40 channels.
Why, yes, that's correct.
And you know what they'd say to you, Pete?
Oh, I'm sure they'd have plenty to say to me, and it's been said to me before by better.
They say to you that's why they got an on-off switch.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, there's always that.
Sounds like a breaker out there.
Why, if there's a breaker, go ahead. Classic Radio Roundup.
That might have been out in DX land.
To the port of Mexican-Cubans.
Well, I know this Hallicrafters is sensitive enough. I was the first one to pull Night Train out of the noise coming up the Shore-Killed Distressway the other night during his drive home.
Oh, man. Yeah, normally I'd hear him fine. Of course, with all the noise in there, it might be a little tough.
Oh, I got me a crystal selectivity with crystal phasing. Come on.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that'll take out all the on-channel noise.
The other night I thought he was coming up the turnpike.
Well, the selectivity does take away some of the noise from the side too, or at least reduces it.
Oh, yeah. If it's off-channel a little bit, it'll knock it right out.
That's right.
That night train's working over Jersey, over near the ocean, up by New York City.
Oh, my God. That's a hell of a ride.
Yeah, he said about 2.5 hours.
Oh, mercy. I guess your best bet is to take 78 and probably straight over there or something.
He gets on the turnpike and takes the turnpike over.
Takes the Jersey Turnpike up, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what he was saying. But he said this morning, or last night, he said he was leaving somewhere around 5:30 this morning.
Now, you got to get up there early because that traffic up in that area is brutal.
Brutal and unforgiving.
Little Silver, that's where he was working at.
He might be on his way home at some point. We may hear him in there yet.
Or not.
And then Skeeter, he could be out, you know, on some kind of call.
Yeah, Sparky must be otherwise engaged with some sort of company or something, or he was out working hard today making up for the rain day.
Yeah, yesterday was kind of a yucky day, man. And then it freaking started snowing last night. It laid about a half an inch on my freaking deck.
Yep, snowing on my way to work last night. That was fun.
Yeah, fortunately, when I woke up, the roads were dry and it really didn't lay, on the grass or even, on the streets or anything. It's just on my deck. I guess because that's, elevated above the ground, it gets cold quicker.
Did you ever hear of Red Bank, Jersey?
Red Bank.
Yeah.
Can't say that I have.
Is it opposite Green Bank? Down the road from Yellow Bank?
Well, if it's Red and Green Bank, you just have to, navigate right between the red and the greens, and you keep yourself in the channel that way.
It's right off the Garden State Parkway in North Jersey.
Yeah, that would explain it. I don't really traipse around North Jersey all that much. I'm more of a South Jersey kind of guy.
I try to stay the heck out of Jersey if I can.
Yeah, lately I'm kind of that way too. I have no need to go there anymore. I used to like the shore when I was a kid, not anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
You ever go down around Mount Hawkins?
More serene, much more natural, and a heck of a lot less people.
I very much enjoyed the stay in Bahia Honda Key down in the Florida Keys, where I had the beach all to myself.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the state park, they close it at sunset, kick everybody off the island unless you're a registered camper.
Oh man, that's nice.
Actually, I think it was 5 o'clock, 5 or 6 o'clock, something like that. They kicked everybody, if you weren't a registered camper, kick you out.
Did you ever go to West Creek?
Is that next to East Creek?
That's down below Mount Hawkins.
Oh, Manahawkin. I used to keep back in the 80s, I had my boat down in Barnegat Bay.
10-4. Now this is below that, south of, what is it, 72?
72 comes in right at Tuckerton.
10-4.
Tuckerton's where Steve's brothers live.
Yeah, that's where a buddy of mine, Rich, had his boat in Tuckerton. We used to go visit him every now and then.
Show you right.
Who was that show you right?
Show you right. What's going on, Countywide Spitfire?
Oh, hello, Tickle.
Hello, gentlemen. Good evening, everybody.
What do you say there, Tickle?
Turn the echo off so at least I sound vintage.
Yeah, that's helpful.
How we all doing tonight? And what conversation am I jumping into and missed?
We're just talking about classic shore points.
Ah, 10-4. Carry on.
Evening, Tickle. Yeah, Mount Hawkins 72 goes into Mount Hawkins. Tuckerton's below that, 539.
Well, 72 will take you right to Tuckerton. 539 will take you right to Barnegat, actually. Cross over Route 9 and
634.
that I don't know. 634 I'm not too familiar with. Yeah, 539 though, I know. I used to go down that way. I used to take 70 to 72 and take that down to 539 and then right into where we kept the boat in Barnegat.
I'm looking at the map here. 539 goes into Tuckerton. 532 goes into Barnegat.
Ah, okay. 532 then. That's the one I was on.
Yeah, 'cause we used to go down, my dad used to go down there in the summertime to West Creek, and he used to take 539 down off of 72, and then cut off a side road to go over to West Creek.
That's just a little tiny town there. They're all tiny towns, all along Route 9 there.
10-4. There's a campsite down there, Sea Power Light. That's what's the name of it.
Yeah. There's a bunch of little towns along there. There's Forked River, Waretown, Manahawkin. You know, there's a bunch of them.
10-4.
I remember it was a big deal when I got on 2 meters, you know, early on licensed and getting into the Manahawkin repeater on 2.
Ah, yes. Yeah, Art and I used to use that one down there on occasion.
It was the same frequency as Eagleville, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. 835.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I'm enjoying the heck out of this Hallicrafters receiver.
Well, what the heck? Your name's Pete, so you can repeat.
That's right, Pete and repeat. My call sign kind of goes along with that theme, you know, which I thought was kind of ironic. And in any case, yeah, this thing's got great fidelity with the speaker I got on it.
That's good, and hopefully my Cobra sounds good that way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is a station my grandfather would enjoy. I sort of kind of in a hazy sort of way kind of remember a receiver looking similar to this. Not to say that it was, but you know, the same sort of style. It's the kind of equipment I remember it looking like.
Yeah, there you go. Huh, let's try this microphone.
Yeah, it's got some bottom end.
Yeah, this is the Super Sidekick. I don't think this one sounds all that good on this radio. There's just not enough high end.
Just talk a little bit more. I'm running through my tone control.
Yeah. 27.115 on your AM radio dial. And Big Marty really does sell carpet cheaper.
On my medium tone control. That sounds good right there. Sounds just really good. AM radio.
Yes, and Crazy Eddie's prices are insane. For printed copies, please write Classic Radio Roundup, P.O. Box 1, Pottstown, Pennsylvania.
I wish it was more of a linear pot instead of a 3-position switch.
Yeah, right? That's certainly, I always like variables rather than clicks.
Because it needs to be between the medium and the high.
Yeah. Well, usually tone controls work by attenuating the high end. So, you put it on the high tone, I guess it's full fidelity.
Medium sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Let me try the +2, see what that sounds like.
Yeah. Play with them if you got them on Classic Radio Roundup 27115 on the AM radio dial. Citizens Band Radio, Class D service, channel 13.
Okay, here we go. Hey, this doesn't sound too bad.
Try me on again.
Alrighty. Once again, this is your Classic Radio Roundup, 27115 on your AM dial, on a Turner +2 desk microphone.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Not too shabby.
Yeah, it's not quite as totally bassy as the Sidekick. It's not as bright as the D104. I think the D104 is going to be the best mate for this radio, just because this thing's a little different than the Galaxy. The Galaxy is unbelievably flat, even without the EQ. I mean, it goes from, 60, 70 hertz all the way up to 8,000 hertz, totally flat. Well, this thing, I can make it flat from like 100 to about 1,000. But then it slowly starts rolling off very slowly. And it's pretty down by the time you get to 5 kilohertz. And I tried to boost that, but really couldn't. So it is what it is.
Well, you certainly got nothing to complain about coming through my 8-inch. Not a CB radio speaker on my high-level plate modulated radio system. Well, it ain't not all it anyway. This thing's got all them stinking metal tubes in it.
You got the metal tubes, huh?
Yeah, I think there's like only 1 or 2 glass tubes, and the rest of them are metal case tubes.
Yeah, I often wondered why. What was special about those?
Yeah, I don't know. You don't see them too often, and I only remember like seeing maybe 1 or 2, and like phonograph amplifiers. That's where I remember seeing them for whatever reason. But anyway, this radio's full of them.
I mean, it's good because I guess it shields them from microphonics and external things. It's got it's a built-in shield, but. I never had anything that had those kind of tubes in it. I've seen enough of them, but, most of the radios are all glass tubes. The only metal tubes I run across on a regular basis are new Vistors.
Yeah, right? They're a little more common. Right, the new Vistors. Gotta love them.
Yeah, they're like a tube transistor.
Yeah, they're not much bigger than a transistor of the, especially some of the bigger, metal cased ones.
Yeah, you could make a whole radio out of new Vistors. The thing is they didn't make a lot of new Vistor tube types. They were really good for receiver front ends and stuff, but you're not going to get like a push-pull audio stage out of new Vistors or 25 watts of carrier out of one.
No, but I love them for preamps or front ends.
Oh, absolutely. Receiver front ends are where they shine.
Yeah, that's where those tubes really shine. That's where they're doing good duty on the front end.
That's right.
I see a radio with the new Vista tube in the front end. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good receiver.
I still want to bring that HB 400 back from the dead that I got from old 05. Either he or somebody raped the volume control and the squelch control pots out of it and a couple of other things, but I've got junk Comstats that I can rob those parts back out of, and I could probably get that radio working again. It doesn't have a case though, that's the only thing, but I bet you I could bring that back from the dead. It's got all the tubes still in it, and most of the superficial damage that appears to be relatively limited. And that's got 2 new Vistors in it.
Yeah, I had one of them radios. Should have never gave it up.
No. Of course, it's also got one of those nasty little .1 microfarad firecracker caps. I'll have to replace those before I even try to fire that up.
Yeah, I had one of them radios. It was a good cream puff, and it worked well. And well, que sera. don't mean to leave you alone. Hopefully somebody else is out here, but I gotta go get firewood. Classic Radio Roundup, countywide on standby. Yeah, right? What the hell? 17th of April coming up.
80 degrees on Monday, snow on Tuesday.
And like the weather in Pennsylvania, wait 24 hours.
37 out there right now.
What'd you say it was now?
37.
Yeah, it's going to be cold again tonight. But I think as the week progresses, it's going to get a little bit warmer each day.
That's what they said in the radio. Yeah, it's supposed to be colder tonight than it was last night.
Well, this morning when I got up, it was 28 degrees. And that was cold enough.
10-4. Well, that's the only place you can come and get frostbite one day and the next day get sunburn, or vice versa.
Yeah, I can remember one year when I was younger. I can remember cutting the grass one day and shoveling the driveway the next.
10-4. I remember that too.
It was one of those deals, you know. The grass was still growing, but then we got an early snow or something, and there wasn't a lot of snow. I think it was maybe an inch or two, but I'm there out there shoveling the driveway.
Oh, the grass down this way is ready to be cut already.
Yeah, my yard took a beating last year. I got a lot of brown spots from the weeds that died that have taken over. I really got to put some weed killer down and fertilize the heck out of it before it starts growing.
You know it's bad when weeds die from natural cause.
Yeah, all that snow load on them and the cold weather just turned everything really brown.
I remember one year we were working up by Roverzoni, up in that area, and dam lines were up. That was in January.
Well, I used to see that too. If you get like a warm spell in January, next thing you know the dandelions are pushing up.
10-4.
We've had that happen. I mean, it used to be a pretty common thing. You know, like first or second week of January, you get this little warm spell where it would go up to like 55, 60 degrees and for a couple of days, and it's like, ooh, nice. And then you get another one like that in February or March, you know. But this year we didn't get any warm up until until April.
Yeah, this is a cold winter compared to what we normally got. That's global warming.
Yeah, global warming. Call Al Gore.
Not to get on that subject, but I don't know where I saw it, but maybe it was on the computer someplace for when they had that shooting down in Texas at that military base.
Yep, Fort Hood.
Yeah, Fort Hood. Well, what you see there is ex-President Bush and the ex-First Lady down there visiting all them people and their families that got injured and stuff. Well, and didn't want no publicity about it, but the president never showed up till later on.
That's because it's not high on his priority list. He's got golf to play.
That's what they were saying. Ain't that something?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to go down this road. But I think you can figure out how I feel about the whole thing.
I think a whole bunch of other people too. 10-4.
throw Doc Hammer out on a tangent if he was in there listening.
Yeah, where is Doc Hammer?
Yeah, and tonight was the best I heard him off Peach Radio in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. His audio sounded good and he wasn't breaking up. You know, his connection seems to be better now.
That and his signal was a whole lot better over this way than it normally was.
Guess Pete's up the mountain antenna's working.
Yeah, he said take the connectors apart on the coaxes, splices and all that and clean them up and put them back together. That's probably where the problem was.
Yeah. Yeah. He should be using that on his end then. It's all good. Let's see here. Yeah, my match is good. Yeah, everything's good.
Yellow radio.
Hello, Chuck.
Evening, Chuck.
Just got home from work here.
Oh, another late night worker.
Yeah, teaching an evening class this time around.
Ah, yes. Evening classes. Adult evening school.
13th grade with cigarettes.
They allow smoking?
Well, in the smoking designated smoking areas.
Ah.
Tim's pretty quiet here tonight as far as the skip and all.
Yeah, the skip is slowly but surely fading out. It was started off at like a 7 noise level, and then it dropped to a 5, and then a 3, and I think it's actually now below a 3 on my end.
Yeah, I got my quad beaming north here, and I'm on the vertical now. When I do switch to the quad beaming north, it gets really quiet, so it's all coming up from the south.
Well, south and west.
Yeah, this thing has some pretty good directivity, so.
Yeah, I turn mine around to the west, and I hear Washington State and all that other hubbub going on, but, you know, mine's normally pointed east-southeast, so unless it's coming from the ocean, I guess I don't hear much.
You know, I heard Motor Mall for the first time. Good God, that guy had a big signal.
Yeah, and he's got really good sounding audio.
So I Googled his name, Motor Mall. Sure enough, I hit his Facebook page.
Yeah, he's got a Facebook page. He's got a website, too.
Yeah, his beam is like 64-foot boom.
Yeah, he built a nice little circuit that he put in these plastic radios that simulates tube harmonics, I guess, and gives it asymmetrical modulation and high fidelity, and really does a nice job. I wanted to email him like years ago and say, hey man, you mind sharing the schematic for that? I would have built one myself.
Hello, Chuck. How about a little musical microphone here?
Yeah, hello there, Pete.
It sounds like a stock microphone.
It's a Shure microphone. It's the mic that came with the Elmac.
Ah.
Very mellow sounding, but not loud.
Well, let's turn the mic gain up a little. That's actually all I got for mic gain.
It sounds like a stock mic. Good tone quality.
Yeah, I would say very natural sounding.
Yeah, I'm using the multi-Elmac transmitter and a Hallicrafters SX110 kind of restored for the receiver.
Ooh, you're multipathing on me now. Must be an airplane flying overhead.
You've been multipathing with me off and on all night, but I think that's a phenomena of the phased antennas.
Yeah, because when you're on the one up the hill, your signal's stronger. and that doesn't happen as often.
Are you crystal controlled?
Yes, that's a Roger.
Okay, I thought so, because you're real stable.
Yeah, real stable and 500 cycles high.
I'd rather have you be 500 cycles high stable than drifting all over the place.
Yeah, you almost have to trade one for the other. But the Elmac VFO actually is more stable than the B&W VFO. Can you believe it?
Really?
Thing's pretty solid.
Yeah, because I thought, pretty much the B&W, once you replaced that tube that was weak, it seemed to have gotten a lot more stable.
Yeah, it is, but it still has maybe 50 to 100 cycle drift, where the Elmac has just about zero.
Wow, because you stick the two rigs side by side, and it looks like the B&W was like your whatchamacallit, your high-end department store Macy's style radio, while the Elmac was a Kmart special.
Yeah, but it doesn't really seem to be that way. One was just a mobile and one was for your house, I guess. But, imagine you'd have, the cars of the day, I guess you had your 52 Chevy, plenty of room under the dash.
Yeah.
Pete, you ever check out Motor Mall?
It's familiar to me, but, I don't know.
I was tuning around. I was going down below 1 when the skip was rolling a couple days ago over the weekend, and I tuned up past channel 6, and I could have swore the guy was within a quarter mile of me. He was full scale on the S meter, and it was Motor Mall out I think in Nevada. And so I googled his name, and lo and behold, man, this guy runs a beam fed with a full wave loop, and the boom is 64 foot long.
Yeah, now there's an antenna. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, you got that kind of gain going on, you're going to get out.
Did you see the picture of his audio rack? He's got some quality audio processing gear going on there too.
Oh yeah, definitely hi-fi.
I talked to him.
Oh, did you?
A couple times.
I remember you telling me about him, Ron, but that was the first time I came across. I was godsmacked with that one, boy.
Yeah, you got him and you got a 545 or something, 444, something like that down there in Texas. He comes in just the same. Then you got Mustang 131. So all three of them are top shelf.
Yeah, see, I wonder if that's like a software-defined radio or something.
Nah, he does it old school.
Because I never did find the rig he was using.
Yeah, it's pretty daggone amazing when you think about it that CBers will put that kind of a quality station together. That's a serious station.
And he has YouTube videos about, how to dial in with that 4-to-1 ratio.
Actually, he does more than 4-to-1 because he uses asymmetrical modulation.
Yeah.
It's funny, he built like a Cobra 148 or something, or it's either a 148 or a Unit N Grant. I forget which one it was, and he mounted it in a rack. And he uses that as his exciter. And he bypassed all the modulation stages and all in there, and goes in there externally with this outboard thing that he built. Of course, I don't know, he may have changed in the last 5 or 6 years, but he calls it his classic radio. But the thing sounds so good because he's got all kinds of processing going on. He was more or less one of my inspirations when I started tinkering with the Galaxy. I figured, well, I can do this.
Oh, yeah. He sounded like either a software-defined radio or a Class E rig that you hear on 75 meters.
Like I said, I think he's doing it old school. It's just good engineering, analog engineering. He seems to know what he's doing.
you did it pretty good with that Galaxy, and that Cobra 2000 you're on right now is not too shabby either.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the Galaxy though, the way that thing, just kind of fell into place. Those radios are the ones that they're the ticket, man. Whew, I can make those things sing.
Yeah, now you got it all figured out. Yeah, you could fool people into thinking that one was a tube radio.
Oh yeah. Well, it's got the warmth.
So would you find a pick point to inject the audio?
No, I just redid the whole entire audio stages, so it would pass wider band audio. The Galaxy's got a nice little integrated circuit preamp stage, a regular little op amp, and originally it was designed as a low pass filter op amp, and I just redesigned it and made it a straight gain amp and no frequency limitations, and then I put it into the equalizer, and coming out of the equalizer into the modulator stage, there was a cap in there. It was like a 100 microfarad cap that was limiting the low end. I changed it to a 2200 microfarad cap, and boy, it just dropped that low end down to like 20 hertz. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's some good stuff, boy. Yeah, that's what the AMers do on ham radio.
Yeah, I mean, this Galaxy will go from 20 hertz all the way up to 8 kilohertz without a problem. It'll even go further than that, but I just stopped at 8 kilohertz. I figured I don't need to go any higher.
Yeah, that's what was done to this thing.
Yeah, this Cobra wasn't quite as impressive. It'll go to 6 kilohertz, and it'll go down to about 90 kilohertz or thereabouts. And it's not as flat as the Galaxy. The Galaxy's really flat. I'm so surprised. I don't even have to tweak the equalizer all that much when I'm putting a sweep signal across the band. I have to adjust it for to mate the different microphones because they're not flat. But that's part of the fun, I guess.
You got the audio quality of a tube rig, and the reliability of solid state.
Yeah. Still though, that's going to be the next project. I got to find a tube rig that I don't care so much about, and I got to start. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll resurrect that HB 400 and I'll do some audio mods to it.
Yeah, and you can make any old wood box cabinet or anything to put it in, or just leave it open chassis.
Or, hey, I got another idea. I got that HA 410. I can play with that.
Better get a crystal.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try that. I don't have any channel 13s, though. I think I got like a gazillion of these huge, crystals that fit in there, but let's see what I can come up with.
Yeah, Frankenstein Tram Titan.
No, I'm not going to mess with a Tram Titan. I got one of those. My classic radios I'm not going to do because I want them to be as they were from the factory.
Oh, not yours. I mean, like at a donor rig.
There's a certain Swan over there that just needs the finals fixed.
Yeah, the audio bandwidths on those too.
Yeah, don't the audio and the Swans make your ears bleed?
I always got good audio reports on my Swan.
Well, it depends on the lash up of the microphone,
Yeah. One thing I haven't done though, I haven't tried this rig out on sideband since I changed the audio. Although I listened to it through the headphones and it actually sounds good on sideband with a D104. Most radios just sound a little bit too harsh with a D104. You want to put something bassier on there. But the mods take care of that, I guess.
Now, the hi-fi sideband guys I listen to, you tune off a little bit and you can actually hear the inner mod distortion products coming out their sidebands because they're pumping so much audio, they're like blowing through the filters.
Well, yeah, ultimately on on sideband, the filter's going to shape your bandwidth, but, you know, the low end gets pooched a little bit, and it'll pass that. Instead of, you know, passing 300 to 3,000 hertz, it passes, you know, all the way down to 100 or 90 or whatever.
Unless you're using a Barker and Williamson with a sideband slicer, it passes everything.
Yeah, you don't have no filter in there, do you?
No,
So that thing's wide. You got to be at least 4 kilohertz wide.
The only thing it has is phasing and nulling of the AM carrier and the other sideband. The rest of the full sideband from AM goes right on through.
Yeah, those old phase rigs, they sounded pretty decent on sideband.
Yeah, I'm surprised how good that B&W sounds on sideband. That really does sound wonderful.
Yeah, I'll be playing with that again on sideband at some point. It's just such a pain in the ass to set up. Wherever you set it up, you know, you don't go traveling around.
Yeah, it's not a QSL kind of rig.
Wherever you are, you camp for a while.
QSY, not a chance.
What, 5 kilohertz? Okay.
Yeah, I can go up and down 5. No more than that.
But it's worth it for the way it sounds.
Well, I have a scratch pad, and I take notes of where all the controls are set. So QSY is a little less painful.
Yeah, but even still, you know, with that rig, you got to tune up the final, and then you got to tune up the sideband unit. You know, for QSY on sideband is twice as many steps as QSY on AM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to re-null the thing.
And there's a band selector, you know, for both the finals, and then there's a band selector for the sideband generator. And then you gotta, you know, peak it out, peak and dip the final, or the driver, I should say, on that. And then you gotta balance the modulator, and then null out the carrier.
Definitely not plug and play.
Nuh-uh.
You ever use that thing one day and then shut it off and then fired up the same spot the next day and found the values for the tuning were all a little different?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, that's good.
You would think it would change a little bit as the tubes warmed up.
Well, I don't hop right on it. I turn it on and then go play with the dogs and stuff the wood stove, and you know, then that's all that happens before I get time to transmit anyway.
That's probably not a bad idea. Because that way you are giving the set a chance to warm up to its operating temperature.
That's right. Yep, show you right. I think things are running good too, because them transformers stay cool as a cucumber.
That's good.
The low voltage one may have, you know, a little bit of warmth to it, and that's it.
Well, that one's bearing a constant load. The other one only kicks in when you're transmitting.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, the B+, yeah. One's a filament, the other B+.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Ron.
Well, I was on 10 meters today with the Emperor. Made it out there pretty good.
Yeah, 10 meters on sideband right now is still open. I mean, you can get out there and talk to someone, that's for sure.
Yeah, you go in there at 1 o'clock every day, you know. Well, try to anyway. I said it, well, all the guys said it sounded pretty good. I had to go in and tweak it back, each one of them, about maybe just a little tiny pinch to get them right on, but got on now.
Yeah, I'm sleeping at that time of the day. I can catch them guys once in a while on a Friday or a Saturday, you know, if I'm around, but otherwise, I'm sleeping at that time. I can't get in there.
Yeah. Well, at least I got it on, because I had to go in there and, I was just tweak each one of them back and get them on frequency, but they were close, but they were just off a tiny, tiny bit.
You just dial in on the first guy that you hear, and then use the RIT for the rest of them.
Yeah. I just wanted the front red, dialing like that, but the transmit was just off a tiny, tiny bit. But I got it.
What was that on the net?
Yeah.
Oh, they're always off. At least 100 cycles.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Dial in till the guys sound right. Don't worry about what the frequency says.
Yeah, it's just an indication.
It's only to get you close. And then just dial until they sound right.
Yeah, unless you're OCD, it doesn't matter what frequency you're actually on.
It really doesn't. Everybody has to sound right, and then you're on frequency.
I've never heard the guys on that net zero beat.
Nothing drives me more nuts. I'm on sideband calling CQ, and I like to use oddball frequencies. I'm never on zero, and now it's kind of a point. And to have somebody tell me that I'm off frequency. Now, how could I possibly be off frequency when I'm the one here called CQ and you gotta dial into me?
Hey, Pete.
Hello.
Yeah, that's when you close your eyes and use your ears.
You're better off that way than looking at the frequency display, especially when you're just dialing through the band hitting people. Whatever you wind up on, the guy sounds normal, that's where he is.
That's what I tell everybody on sideband when I'm on there. I said, close your eyes and use your ears. Don't look at that meter.
Yep, it'll only lie to you anyway.
I got back on the side.
But I've been told that more than once. Hey, you're off frequency. Now, how can that possibly be? I'm the one who started here.
Yeah, I'm on my frequency. You're the one who's off frequency.
I'm on the frequency that I'm on. It doesn't matter what the dial says. I found a clean place.
Yeah, I'm on my frequency. These people with the channelized mentality.
How can I possibly be off frequency?
I am where I am.
We're amateur radio operators. We have VFOs. We can go anywhere we want within our band limits.
Yes, continuous, completely continuous tuning.
I love whenever somebody, every once in a while, invariably it happens on QRZ, where somebody will bring up the idea, hey, we should channelize this or channelize that, and boy, do they get flamed.
Oh my God, yeah.
Could be somebody stirring the pot intentionally.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Yeah, there are a lot of trolls out there that like to stir the pot just for fun.
Yeah, that topic does come up every once in a while. Or the suggestion, we should stay at, 2.5 kilohertz intervals at starting at this point and blah, or blah, blah, or some sort of, channelization kind of a scheme. And it always goes down like the Hindenburg.
Yeah, go back to 2 meters.
Everybody was in uproar when they were introducing 60 meters.
Oh yeah, because that is channelized.
I'll never work 60 meters. Next thing you know, they're going to channelize everything else. Oh well, your loss. So anyway, I turned the floodlights on last night about 10:30, and lo and behold, it's snowing.
Yes, it was. Big old fat flakes, too.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Yeah, I was driving to work last night in the snow. Big fat flakes.
I still still have ice on my deck. It didn't completely melt today because it's in the shade.
Well, it reduced the mud out there for Miniman.
I reduced it because it froze up.
That's right. Frozen mud is not as bad as, you know, melted mud.
This is true.
Countywide.
Countywide Radio, LLC.
I believe, now that I just came across something and I didn't realize I had them. We need to get the Nagants out.
Oh yeah, show you right. I'm itching for a day of slinging lead and smacking steel with it.
I just came across 120 rounds that I forgot I had.
Oh, I can come up with that much. That'll put a good hurting on my arm for an hour.
Those are the ones I forgot I had.
10-4, Roger, right on. Well, it's like I can usually talk the wife into going to the range on the occasion. So that's even a Friday possibility, or even Saturday.
I got one box that has silver tips.
Oh yeah.
What are you trying to do? Hunt werewolves?
3 weeks ago, I scored 2 100-round boxes of bulk at 9mm at Walmart.
Oh, Walmart has ammo again?
Yeah, then last Friday, I scored a box of 550 22. And they had like 6 or 7 on the shelf. All I wanted was one.
I must hit Walmart the wrong time, because I can never get there when there's any 22.
I checked the next day, they were sold out. The guy said, oh yeah, I put these out about an hour ago. You only want one box? Yeah, I'm not greedy.
Hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim. Top of the evening. Good to hear your voice on my radio receiver.
How y'all doing?
I'm doing just fine. Check in with everybody else. Good to hear you.
Yeah, we're surviving. Every day that I'm still alive is a good one. That's right.
Survived another snowstorm.
Well, yeah, big snowstorm, huh?
Well, you know.
It's what you call an onion snow. Hopefully that was Old Man Winter's last hurrah. He's done now. I hope so.
Well, if I knew spring was only going to last 3 days, I think I'd have gotten the bike out more.
Don't worry, summer is coming.
All that rain, my yard's starting to turn green.
Yeah, mine's slowly getting there too.
My weeping cherry tree's getting pink.
I got the whatchamacallit, the pear tree in the front yard. That's got white blossoms on it. At work we got some pink ones, and it's getting there. I thought maybe the rain would wipe them all out, though.
My weeping cherry tree is usually about the first thing to show anything on it, and it started turning pink yesterday.
My daffodil, there's a couple daffodils up. The hyacinths have come up. I'm just hoping the freeze the last 2 nights doesn't kill them.
Yeah, that was bad timing.
pushing that modulation meter up there.
Yep, it can be heard.
Yes, and this portion of Classic Radio Roundup is brought to you by Lisa Simpson's saxophone solos. Yes.
Sounding good.
From softball to saxophone, no task is too big.
Well, anything worth doing is worth doing well.
That's right.
My father said, even if you fail and become the trash man, of course, which was the equivalent in the day of, in the 1970s, to my father of failure. But even if you do fail and become the trash man, you better be the best one there is.
Of course, now they don't call them trash men anymore. They're sanitation engineers. Gotta make them sound more potent.
And make big money, too.
Some of them, I guess, do.
Yeah, if you're in the right position, in the right place, you're making pretty good wage.
Yeah, if your name is Mascara or something.
Well, I've enjoyed my night running this multi-Elmac AF67 Transider with my Hallicrafters SX110 radio receiver station. Big old dials and knobs and glass, real glass, you know. And this glass cleaned up well. I didn't use anything but soap and water on it, and all the lines and numbers stayed intact. I look at some of them on the bay, and people must have used something on it. We'll wipe the numbers right off.
Yeah, too harsh of a cleaner.
I used hand soap and water.
Yeah. Hopefully you get that video gate posted up relatively quickly.
All depends on the workload tonight. I'm trying not to forget it, but you know how it goes. I'll get it in there at some point.
Yeah, I like listening to that. I usually listen to the whole stinking thing. Just a different perspective on things. That operator I heard out there?
Ken from Harleysville in the Mobile.
Oh, it's Ken.
Evening, Ken. You stop a Wawa to get your free coffee?
Yeah, I've had several cups today.
10-4.
I think I'll be awake the rest of the evening.
I guess that'll go up till midnight, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's when I'll get my free cup going in tonight.
Yeah, you might as well grab two while you're at it.
Free cup?
Yeah, free coffee all day today.
How come?
50th anniversary.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, that brings to mind.
Yeah, I got a free 20 ounce on the way in today.
Sometimes they give away a free box coffee.
Yeah, I was talking to them last night. Am I going to be able to get mine coming in tonight? They said, sure. We'll be tired by then, but we'll still have it.
Imagine what it's costing them the day. something else besides the coffee.
Vandals just don't tell you.
And complete customer loyalty and future sales.
That's right.
Yeah, I see that point, but I'm just saying what expense it is to them just to put this thing on.
Oh yeah, right.
All the extra help they have in there during the day compared to what they normally have.
And all the coffee they went through.
If you think about it, the coffee itself doesn't cost hardly anything. It's the cups that actually cost money.
Yeah, that's true. But just think of what they're not making.
Yeah, $1.50 on every 24 ounce.
That's $1 million write-off.
They can afford it.
Yeah, for one day.
Yep. We'll be in there tomorrow or tonight, buy the coffee.
Yeah, I think Rito's Water Ice does the same thing. Their first day of business of the season.
First day of spring.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep. Free water ice.
Yeah, and I heard down the city somewhere they had a riot at one.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it was the location. Once they said the location, I was like, well, there you go.
Hey, Pete,
Hey, Quarter Wave Dave.
the one over at Pottstown on Charlotte Street, they closed that one down because they had too big of a crowd. I don't know how many hundreds of people they had. They shut it down.
Well, you know, I don't want to go down that road, but you know, we all know why.
They opened it up after the crowd died off and settled down. They were getting too rowdy. That's what it was. They shut it down and opened it up, and I think another day they gave out some free ones too. There's one of them out here in Zieglerville.
Yeah, I'll ride to that one on occasion. In the summertime, we'll take a ride and go out to that one.
Ted Ford.
Moonmouth Mall.
That's it. Yeah, I think he's in California. West Coast guy, that's for sure. But he's got some big amplifier and a big beam and a big mouth. A motor mouth.
Yeah, in the last couple days he changed something and whether he turned it up, but he was trying to compete on Channel 6. He just like, oh man, it was awful. And he got too much of that springy effect in there. It's not like him to do that, but I guess he was just trying to prove a point.
Yeah, he likes to keep it smooth. Even in his mobile, he's got it set up. He's got some kind of a gooseneck mic in his mobile, and he's got all that processing going on there too.
Oh yeah. You know,
2811. There's a couple of them.
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. His name is Steve, and kid, he come up with his call sign. It was good. So he goes, oh, hey Ron, how you doing? Because we talk on 38, you know.
Oh, Steve, yeah. I think I know this guy. You know, from a film somewhere.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Apparently he blew his beam down or something like that. He put something else, and he's off of this band for now. Said to stick to a stick, but because his new beam doesn't do 11 meters.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he calls it the Hoover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah, so I got his call sign, he got mine. He goes, I didn't know you were a ham. I said, yeah. And, because he came up there, his needle fender 67. I said, I know who it is. And then he didn't have to know mine. He knew it right off the bat.
Yeah. A bunch of those guys used to hang out on a defunct forum that died. I still run across them on Facebook occasionally.